Okay, so this is our topic for today, class 10th, maths part 2. The topic is Pythagoras theorem, and in that topic we are only going to solve some multiple choice questions, MCQs, and for that if we need some basic concepts that will be clear again while having the questions. So let's start with the first question. The question is, out of the given triplets, which is not a Pythagorean triplet? So triplet in the sense three numbers. So there are four options given below, A, B, C and D, which has numbers 104, 96, 40. Second is 52, 20, 48, 32, 15, 30 and 61, 60, 11. So these are the four triplets given, and we have to decide whether out of these four, which is not a Pythagorean triplet. That means the three are Pythagorean triplets and there is one triplet which is not a Pythagorean triplet. So we have to choose that one which is not a Pythagorean triplet. So first of all, we should understand what is a Pythagorean triplet. Suppose three numbers are given. Let's have the simple numbers 3, 4 and 5. So these are the three numbers given. So it is called as a triplet. Now when we say that this is a Pythagorean triplet, suppose if we take its largest number among these three, so it is 5. So we have to make its square. So 5 square is 25. Now the remaining two numbers are 3 and 4. For these two, we have to make their squares, that is 3 square, and we have to add it plus 4 square. So remaining numbers, we have to make squares of them and we have to add these two. So 3 square is 9 plus 4 square is 16. So 9 plus 16, that is 25. Now as we can observe here, the largest number square, that is 5 square, is equal to the sum of squares of remaining two numbers, that is 3 square plus 4 square. So if happens for any given triplet, we say that that is an Pythagorean triplet. So we have to decide among these four which is not there. So this condition is not there. So that would not be a Pythagorean triplet. So suppose if we consider the first triplet 104, 96 and 40. So we have to decide the largest number is 104. So we have to make a square of 104. Then we have to make a square of 96. And then we have to make a square of 40. So 96 square plus 40 square, if it is equal to 104 square, then it is a Pythagorean triplet. So if we calculate that, we can observe that this is a Pythagorean triplet. In the same way, 52 square, the largest number is 52 for the second triplet. So it is also 52 square is equal to 20 square plus 48 square. So you can also check it that the 20 square plus 48 square, that would be equal to 52 square. So this is also a Pythagorean triplet. In the same way, option D, that is the fourth triplet, we have 61, 60 and 11. The largest number among those three is 61. So 61 square is equal to 60 square plus 11 square. So in this way, the first, second and the fourth, these three are Pythagorean triplet, as the largest number square is equal to sum of squares of remaining two numbers. But for option C, it is not the case. So if we take a square of 32, that is 32 square, is not equal to sum of squares of remaining two, that is 15 square plus 30 square. So it is not there for the third triplet. That's why the third triplet is not a Pythagorean triplet and remaining three are the Pythagorean triplets. So our answer is option C, as it is not a Pythagorean triplet. So this is how we can decide whether the given triplet is a Pythagorean triplet or not. So this question may be asked for a multiple choice question, that is question number 1A or question number 1B, or sometimes in question number 2A also this question can be asked. So we have to make sure that we must understand what is a Pythagorean triplet and how can we decide whether the given triplet is a Pythagorean triplet or not. So this is the way. Now let's have the next question. Now this is the question given based on the diagram, and diagram is not given. So first of all, you should draw the diagram according to the information given in this question. It is given that in triangle LMN, if LM is equal to 10 centimeter angle LNM 90 degree, angle LMN is 30 degree, then what would be NM? So 4 options are given: 5 root 2 centimeter, 5 centimeter, 10 root 3 centimeter, or 5 root 3 centimeter. So according to the information given to us, we should draw firstly the diagram. So let us have a triangle. Okay. So let us consider this is a triangle LMN where measure of angle LNM is 90 degree. So this angle must be N, which is 90 degree, and the remaining two sides vertices are L and M. So this is triangle LNM. Now it is given that LM is 10 degree. So in this LM is the hypotenuse. So hypotenuse is given. Measure of angle LMN. So as we can see in the diagram, LMN, this angle is of measure 30 degree. And from this information we have to find NM. So here we have NM in the diagram. Now for this triangle LMN, we have measures of two angles. The angle N is 90 degree, angle M is 30 degree. So the remaining angle must be 60 degree, because the sum of measures of all the three angles of a triangle must be 180 degree. So sum of these two is 120. So the remaining angle must be 60 degree. Now this triangle L and M is 30 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree triangle. So we have to use the property of triangle of 30, 60 and 90 degree triangle. And the property is side opposite to 30 degree is half the hypotenuse and side opposite to 60 degree is root 3 by 2 times the hypotenuse. Now here we want NM, the length of side NM, which is the side opposite to 60 degree. So side opposite to 60 degree, that is NM, is equal to root 3 by 2 times the hypotenuse. And in this question the hypotenuse is LM. So we should write here LM. And the property is this is side opposite to 60 degree. Okay, root 3 by 2 times into, now length of LM is given to be 10 here. So we should replace LM by 10. If we divide by 2, 2 ones are and 2 5s are 10. So we have 5 into root 3 in the numerator. So we get the answer 5 root 3 centimeter, and this is the length of segment NN, and which is given at option D. So option D is our answer. So this is how we can find the answer. Now if this question is asked for 1 mark or 2 mark, we should draw a diagram and we should write these all steps logically. Mathematical logic must be there, and here the reason should be also there. So the reason is here side opposite to 60 degree. So that should be the reason. So this is the proper way by which we can explain the example if it is asked for the 2 marks question. Now as this is asked for a multiple choice question, we have to just find the answer. So answer is 5 root 3 centimeter. Let's have the next question. Now this is the word problem based on the Pythagoras theorem. Two poles of height 100 meter and 111 meters stand vertically upright on the surface of the ground. If the distance between their feet is 60 meter, the distance between their tops is ... whether 61 meter, 60 meter, 100 meter or 111 meter. Now first of all we should draw a diagram. It is given that there are two poles. Let's have the first pole as AB, which has the height of 100 meters. In the same way there is another pole which is slightly larger than the previous one. Let us consider this as CD, which has a length or height of 111 meters. Now it is given that the distance between their feet, so B and D are their feet, so this distance is given to be 60 meters, and from this we have to find the distance between their tops. So tops for two poles are A and C. We have to find the distance AC. What is AC? So this is the diagram we have drawn according to the information given in the question. We have to find AC. Now to solve this we have to draw a perpendicular from point A to to segment CD. So let us consider this is a perpendicular AE which is drawn from point A on segment CD. Now as these two are poles which are vertically upright, that means these angles must be of measure 90 degree. So we have done one construction. A is perpendicular to CD, so this angle is 90 degree. So its angle in linear pair, its adjacent angle must be also 90 degree. And now for quadrilateral ABDE, three angles are of measure 90 degrees, so fourth must be also of measure 90 degree. So in this case we get quadrilateral ABDE as a rectangle, and we know the property of rectangle, opposite sides are congruent. So BD, its opposite side is A, so it should be also 60. In the same way, opposite side of AB is DE, so it should be also 100 meters. Now we get a triangle AEC, which is a right angle triangle, and in that we can use the theorem of Pythagoras. That is, in triangle AEC, as it is a right angle triangle, by Pythagoras theorem we can write hypotenuse square. So hypotenuse is AC, that is AC square is equal to, remaining two sides are AE and CE. So it should be AE square plus CE square. So by Pythagoras theorem we have written this. Now if we have any two sides, or the lengths of any two sides of these three, we can find the third one. So we have to find AC square. So we should find AC square. Now we must have AE and CE, out of which AE we have found to be 60. So AE square, that means 60 square, plus now we have to find CE. This is the segment CE. If we can find CE, we will get the answer. Now to find CE, if we subtract D from the whole segment CD, that is 111 minus 100, that should be the length of segment CE. So 111 minus 100, that's 11. So CE is 11. So instead of CE square, we should write 11 square. So we have to make squares of both of these two. 60 square is 3600 plus 11 square is 121. So 3600 plus 121, it is 3721, which is equal to AC square. So this is the length of AC square. This is the value of AC square. We want AC. So we should take square root on both the sides. So square root of 3721 is 61. So the length AC is 61 meters. That means the distance between their tops is 61 meters. And this is given at alternative A. So option A is the correct answer for this question. Okay, now let's have the next question. For this question also we have to draw the diagram. In equilateral triangle PQR, segment PS is perpendicular to side BC. Then what is PS square? So four options are given: 4QA square, 3QA square, 3 by 2QA square, or 2QA square. So for this question the equilateral triangle is given. So first of all we should draw an equilateral triangle. So let us consider this is an equilateral triangle P, Q and R. Okay. Now PS is perpendicular to BC. That means from vertex P we have to draw a perpendicular on its opposite side. So we should draw here PS. PS is perpendicular to QR. And by this one we have to find PS square. So what is PS square in terms of QS? So we have to express PS in terms of QS. Now for this one we need to use the properties of equilateral triangle. The first property of equilateral triangles is about its sides. So if it is an equilateral triangle, all the three sides must be congruent. So three sides are PQ is equal to QR is equal to PR. Then the second property is all the angles of equilateral triangle are also congruent, and each angle of equilateral triangle is of measure 60 degree. That means angle Q must be 60 degree, angle R must be 60 degree. In the same way angle P is also 60 degree. Now here just consider triangle PSQ, as we want the relation between PS and QS only. So the triangle which involves the side PS and side QS is triangle PSQ. So just consider that triangle in triangle PSQ. So it is a right angle triangle. So if angle PSR is 90 degree, angle PSQ must be also of measure 90 degree. So it is a right angle triangle where first angle is 90 degrees, second angle is 60 degree. So the remaining angle QPS must be 30 degree, because sum of measures of all the three angles of a triangle is 180 degree. So now this triangle PSQ is 30, 60, 90 degree triangle. Now let's consider in this triangle PSQ we can use the Pythagoras theorem, where the side opposite to 90 degree is PQ. So PQ is the hypotenuse. So by Pythagoras theorem we can write PQ square is equal to PS square plus QS square. Okay. Now here instead of PQ we can write QR, because it is an equilateral triangle, so PQ must be equal to QR. So instead of PQ we can write QR. So QR square is equal to PS square plus QS square. Now again, if we have PS which is perpendicular to segment QR, and as it is an equilateral triangle, it is also a perpendicular bisector of side QR. That means QS must be congruent with SR. So there is a relation between QS and QR, that is QR is double the QS, or QS is half of QR. So instead of QR we can write here 2QS, and QR square is there, that's why QR square. Now why we have substituted QR by QS? Because in the question we have to have the relation between PS and QS. That's why instead of QR we have written here QS. That is equal to PS square as it is, because we need the value of PS square, plus QS square. Now here 2 into QS square, square of 2 is 4, and QS square, that means QS square is equal to PS square plus QS square. Now if we take QS square to the left hand side, it will be minus, that is 4 into QS square minus QS square is equal to PS square as it is on the left hand side. So 4 QS square minus 1 QS square, it is 3 into QS square is equal to PS square, or we can also write it as PS square is equal to 3 QS square. So the value of PS square in terms of QS square is 3 QS square, which is given at option B. So option B is the correct alternative for this question. Okay. Now let's have the next question. The diagonal of a square of side 10 centimeter is dot dot. Whether it is 10 root 3 centimeter or 10 root 2 centimeter, 10 centimeter or 5 root 2 centimeter. Now we don't need to have a diagram for this one. We have directly the relation between diagonal of a square and the side of a square, and that relation is diagonal of a square is equal to root 2 into side. So this is the relation for square only. So here the diagonal of a square of side 10 centimeter. So side is given to be 10 centimeter. So in this formula we should replace side by 10. It is root 2 into 10. So root 2 into 10, that means 10 root 2 centimeter. That would be the diagonal. So which is given at option B. So option B is the correct alternative for this question. Sometimes in some questions the diagonal may be given, and from that we have to find the side. We have to use the same formula. Suppose in the same question, if it is there that if the 10 is given to be 10 would be the diagonal of a square, then what would be there? So again for this question, diagonal would be 10, that is equal to root 2 into side. So in that particular question we have to find the side. So we have to use the same relation, diagonal is equal to root 2 into side. So to find the side here in that question, if it would be asked that find the side of the square, we have to use this one. If we take root 2 to this side, it will be in the denominator. So 10 divided by root 2 is equal to side. Now further, if we rationalize the denominator, we'll get the answer. So basically we have to use the same formula here, that is diagonal of a square is equal to root 2 into side. Okay. Now the next question, again this is based on a diagram. In triangle ABC, angle B is equal to 90 degree and segment BD is perpendicular to side AC, and A dash D dash C, that means A, D and C are collinear, then four options are given below. BD square is equal to AD into DC, BD square is equal to AD into AC, BD square is equal to DC into AC, or none of these. So first of all, we should draw a diagram according to the information given to us. So let us have a triangle which is a right angle triangle. We'll name this as triangle A, B, C, where angle B is 90 degree. So this is 90 degree, and segment BD is perpendicular to segment AC, where AC is the hypotenuse over here. So we have to draw a perpendicular from vertex B on the hypotenuse. So this is perpendicular BD on segment AC or hypotenuse AC. And now for this we are asked that whether BD square is equal to AD into DC, or BD square is equal to AD into AC, or BD square is equal to DC into AC. So here we have to use the geometric mean theorem. And by that we have proved that a perpendicular in a right angle triangle, if there is a perpendicular drawn from a vertex on the hypotenuse, it is the geometric mean. That means here the segment BD is the geometric mean of two smaller segments into which the hypotenuse is divided. Now by drawing BD perpendicular on hypotenuse, we get two smaller segments AD and DC. So we must remember that BD is the geometric mean of AD into DC. So that's why we should write here BD square, as it is the geometric mean of AD and DC. So it should be equal to AD into DC. No more confusion. So as it is the perpendicular and we have got two smaller segments AD and DC, so BD square is equal to AD into DC, which is given at option A. So option A is the correct alternative. Now we may confuse if we have another option, BD square is equal to AD into AC or what, or BD square is equal to DC into AC or what, but that's not the case. We have to just remember that a perpendicular, by drawing a perpendicular, the two smaller segments we get, we should take those two smaller segments and take their product, as it is the geometric mean of those two. Okay, so this is the another question, which is a straightforward question. If we have only if we know only the geometric mean theorem, we can solve this question. Only we have to take care that we may not get confused. Okay, the next question is, two sides of a right angle triangle are 3 and 4. Then the length of the third side is 5 root 3, 5 or root 7, 5 root 7, 5 or root 7, or none of these. So again we have to draw a diagram. Suppose there is a right angle triangle. The two sides are 3 and 4. So another must be 5, as it is a Pythagorean triplet, or if we use here a Pythagoras theorem, suppose this is triangle A, B, C, then AC square, we have to find AC because we have to find the third side. So if AB is 3, BC is 4, AC square must be equal to AB square plus BC square. That is, AB is 3, so 3 square is 9, plus BC is 4, 4 square is 16. So 9 plus 16, that's 25, that is equal to AC square. But we want the third side, that's AC, so we should take square root. Square root of 25 is 5. So the length of segment AC, or the length of the third segment or the third side, is 5, which is given at option A. So if we take this, that would be the wrong answer, because we have just considered that the length of segment AB and BC as 3 and 4, but it is not given that those two are perpendicular sides or what. We are just given there are two sides of a right angle triangle, and those two sides or whether the perpendicular sides or the hypotenuse is not given, so we have to consider both the conditions or both the possibilities. So this is the first possibility, that the two sides are the perpendicular sides. There is another also property that what if the perpendicular sides are not 3 and 4? So let's have the second possibility. Suppose this is triangle ABC again, where the length of segment AB is 3 and instead of BC now AC is 4. Then what would be the answer? Now in this case we have again AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. Now in this case BC is the third side now. Now AC is 4, so 4 square is 16 is equal to AB is 3, 3 square is 9 plus BC square. If we take 9 to the left hand side, it will be 16 minus 9 is equal to BC square. 16 minus 9, that's 7 is equal to BC square. But we want value of BC, so we should take square root. And 7 is not a perfect square, so that should be under root sign. So root 7 is equal to BC. So for the second condition, we get the another value of the third side as root 7. So it may be 5 or it may be root 7. So our answer must be option C. The length of the third side may be 5 or root 7. So this is how we can observe the question. We should read the question carefully and then we can find the answer. Otherwise we will get the another wrong answer, as we have seen earlier. The first option is itself 5. So that would be the wrong answer. So we have to read the question carefully. What is given in the question? Okay. Now let's have the next question. Karthik and Praveen start cycling from some point A. Okay, let's have this point A. Karthik travels to east. So suppose this is Karthik travel to east, K for Karthik, and Praveen travels to north. So Praveen travels to north. So let us have this P for Praveen. After 1 hour, Praveen covers 12 km. So Praveen covers 12 km. Karthik travels 5 km. So AK would be 5. And now the question is, how far are they from each other? Now the distance between them is asked. So to find the distance between these two, we have to join P and K, and now we have to find PK. Now we know that east and north are always perpendicular. So this angle must be 90 degrees. So this triangle PAK is a right angle triangle in which two sides are given. From that we can find the third by using the Pythagoras theorem. So if we use Pythagoras theorem over here, the hypotenuse, that is PK square, it would be equal to sum of squares of remaining two sides, that is PA square plus AK square. So PA is 12, so 12 square plus AK is 5, that's 5 square. So 12 square is 144 plus 5 square is 25. So 144 plus 25, it's 169. That is equal to PK square, but we want PK, distance between Praveen and Karthik. So we should take a square root. The square root of 169 is 13. So distance between Praveen and Karthik is 13 km, which is given at option C. So option C is the correct answer for this one. Okay, the next question is, in triangle ABC, segment AM is the median and AB square plus AC square is equal to 410. BC is equal to 12. Then what would be AM? We have to find the value of AM, whether it is 12, 13, root 12 or root 13. That is the question. So for that one we have to draw a diagram. Let's have triangle ABC. So this is triangle ABC. AM is the median, so we have to draw AM. So as AM is a median, BM must be congruent to CM. And as a median is given, we should use the Apollonius theorem. So for this triangle ABC, by Apollonius theorem, the two sides are AB square and AC square. So if we make it square and if we add these two, we get 2 into median square, that is 2 into AM square plus 2 into, where either we can take BM square or CM square. So we should take here 2 into BM square. Now value of AB square plus AC square, it is given to be 410. So we'll replace here the left hand side by 410, that is equal to, we have to find AM, so we should take 2 AM square as it is plus 2 into BM square. Now we have to use BM here, but BM is not given. Instead of that, BC is given. So if AM is the median, M must be the midpoint of segment BC, and BC is 12. That means each of these two segments, BM and CM, must be of length 6 cm. So it should be BM should be replaced by 6 bracket square. So 410 is equal to 2 into AM square plus 6 square is 36, 36 into 2, 72. If we take 72 to the left hand side, it will become minus, that is 410 minus 72 is equal to 2 into AM square. So 410 minus 72, it is 338 is equal to 2 AM square. Again we have to find AM, so we should transfer 2 to the left hand side so as to have that in the denominator, that is 338 divided by 2 is equal to AM square. So if we divide by 2, we will get 169 is equal to AM square. And if we take square root on both the sides, square root of 169 is 30 is equal to AM. So the length of segment AM is 30, which is given at option B. So option B is the correct answer for this question. Okay, now let's have the next question. The length of hypotenuse PR of an isosceles right angled triangle PQR, where PQ is 4 cm. So the question must be PR. What should be equal to PR? So that question may be there. Some mistake is there. So for this question, there is isosceles right angle triangle is given. So as it is a right angle triangle, so first of all we should have a right angle triangle, and it is isosceles right angle triangle. So if we have PQR as a right angle triangle, and as it is isosceles triangle also, any two sides must be congruent. Now PR and PQ or PR and QR may not be congruent, or they must not be congruent, because PR is always greater than remaining two sides, as it is a hypotenuse. We know that hypotenuse is the longest side of a right angle triangle. So only possibility that the two congruent sides must be PQ and QR. Now out of these two, the length of PQ is given to be 4. So if PQ is 4, QR is also 4. And now by that we have to find PR. So as it is a Pythagoras, as it is a right angle triangle, we can use the Pythagoras theorem. And by that we can write hypotenuse square, that is PR square is equal to PQ square plus QR square. Now we have to just substitute the values. PQ is 4, that's square, plus QR is also 4, as it is isosceles right angle triangle. So 4 square is 16 plus 4 square is 16. 16 plus 16, that's 32 is equal to PR square. Now we have to find the value of PR, so we should take the square root. So PR is equal to, as 32 is not a perfect square, so that should be under root sign. Now we can split 32 as 16 into 2, where 16 is the perfect square. Now if we take 16 outside the square root sign, its square root should be taken. So square root of 16 is 4 into root 2. So this is the value of PR, 4 root 2, which is given at option C. So option C is the correct answer for this question. And next question is, which is the last question, out of the following, which is a Pythagorean triplet? Now first question was there in which we have to decide which is not a Pythagorean triplet. for this question we have to decide which is a Pythagorean triplet. So for this one, as we can observe here, option C, where 8, 15 and 17 are given. So if we have the largest square number, that is 17 square, it is 289. And the remaining two sides are, or the numbers are 8 and 15. So we have to make their squares and we have to add them. 8 square plus 15 square. So 8 square is 64 plus 15 square is 225. So 64 plus 225, that's 289. So here we get the largest number square is equal to sum of the squares of remaining two sides. That's why this is a Pythagorean triplet, which is given at option C. And this is not the case for remaining three, A, B and D. That's why A, B and D, these triplets are not Pythagorean triplet. The only Pythagorean triplet is 8, 15 and 17. So option C is the correct answer for this question. So these are some of the questions which are based on the Pythagoras theorem. So more questions you have to practice so that you can get the answer correct for those questions. So that's it for today's session. We'll end this session. Thanks for watching.